Alright guys, in today's video, simple maintenance video, we're going to do a oil filter and drain plug gasket swap out on this 2000 Toyota Camry with the Toyota 5S-FE 4-cylinder engine using all OEM parts. So if it's something new for you and you haven't learned how to maintain this particular engine, go ahead and stay tuned and we'll walk you through it. We're going to pull up some ramps and get started. So how often do you do this maintenance? Well, if you consult the owner's manual packet and you pull out the scheduled maintenance guide, we take a look at this, we can see that replacing the engine oil and filter is every 5,000 miles or every 4 months. And so that's just going to repeat through this entire manual for that. So that's the deal. Every 5,000 miles, every 4 months. This is back in the days before it would tell you on the dash when you needed to change the oil. You had to keep track of it manually. All right, guys, it's a 14 millimeter drain plug. We're going to pull this off, and then we're going to replace the gasket that goes under this drain plug. I'll show you the Toyota part number for that. This vehicle we just recently worked on had a problem where it was leaking from the camshaft cover. So there was a lot of oil run off the back that we got to clean up as well. So it's just giving this guy the full white glove treatment here. 23 years old, trying to get it back up to spec. So let's let this run out and I'll show you the part number for the gasket. All right, consulting the Toyota service manual. This is for model year 2000, but it's going to be the same for all these engines, these 5S-FE engines. Our drain plug is torqued to 27 foot-pounds or 37 newton meters. All right, we're going to put our plug back on. We're going to put a new plug gasket on. It's a Toyota 9430-12031. It's still peeing out here, but it just went to drip, and that's the right point to go ahead and move on. And then we're going to torque this drain plug down to the factory specification of 27 foot-pounds. So we'll just use a regular ratchet to get it snug. And then we'll switch to our torque wrench to finish it up. Okay, now we're done. Let's go back on top, take care of the filter. All right, let's get this aftermarket filter off out of here. You can get this off a number of ways. I'm just using a strap type oil filter wrench to get it loosened up and get it the rest of the way by hand. Now sometimes you get a little bit of runoff like we got right there, which I was hoping it had all run down by now, but sometimes it doesn't. Creates a mess. Just make sure your oil pan is underneath to catch it. All right, we'll go ahead and let that drain down and we'll come back. All right, we're going to replace this with a Toyota 9915 YZZN1 filter. Looks like that. It'll be sealed on the bottom. A lot of times these are counterfeit products, so you'll want to make sure whenever you order it, you're getting it from a reputable source. Of course, we're going to have trouble getting this off with our glove on. It's already pre-lubricated. That's why it had that seal on it, so you don't put any oil on an OEM filter. But we did clean off the mating surface down here, and we're just going to hand tighten this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to give a blast of brake clean over here to get any residual oil from these previous spills as well as this one today. All right, consulting the service manual again. For our drain and refill with an oil filter change, 3.8 U.S. quarts should be what we want to put in. So we'll put in about 3, and then we'll use the dipstick to take us the rest of the way. All right, if we zoom in on the oil cap, it tells you all you need to know. SAE 5W30, this being a 2000 model year engine, it's expecting to have conventional rather than synthetic motor oil. We're going to put our 3 quarts in here, and then we're going to start it up. We'll get it off the ramps, and then we'll do the rest with the dipstick down in the front. All right, guys, we're going to put our 3 quarts in, and then we'll pull it off the ramps, and we'll come back when we do the final adjustment with the dipstick. All right, consulting the service manual again, just a few tips. So they tell you to warm up the engine for 5 minutes, and then you want to get the oil between the L and the F mark. Obviously, you want it up to the F mark, but not past it. So I'll show you how to read that in a moment. This can be kind of faded on these older engines. And then the other thing that I'll show you here, just going up on the beginning part of what the service manual has to say, they talk about using a special service tool to remove this. It's just a cup wrench, and that's something you can use. We can use the band wrench like we use. You can use a cup wrench. You can also use a strap wrench. There's even a type of pliers for these types of filters to get off. Whatever you can get in there is fine. When they talk about lubricating that rubber gasket with clean engine oil, that's old. They now, like I showed you, come out of the box already pre-lubricated, so that's kind of a deprecated step there. And tighten the oil filter by hand until the rubber gasket contacts the seat of the filter mounting, what we've done. Now, there's not a torque value, but what they suggest you do with the tool is you turn it 3/4 of a turn after having it hand tightened, right? And so they suggest that, then filling it with oil, torquing the drain plug, the 27 foot-pounds that we already saw, and then they are repeating what we showed earlier with the filter change, 3.8 quarts. Start the engine, check for leaks, and then recheck the oil level after putting the cap back on. So we're going to go through all of that. We're going to use our strap wrench to do this 3/4 turn adjustment. I don't really call this a torque value, but it is something they recommend for tightness. All right, and so now we're just going to put the strap wrench back on, and we're going to give her another partial turn like that, and we're done. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, we look like we're okay. But let's wipe it off and double check it. Yep, there we are, right below the full mark. So if I wipe this off and we zoom in, you can see it's kind of faded after this many years, right? But there's a mark with an L. Right there's the L. There you go. And then there's a mark and there's an F right in front of it. It's very lightly stamped. And so you want to have it be as close to this F without going past it to be in line with what the service manual is telling you. And in this case, we have it. So all we have left to do, guys, is put our cap back on, and this job is done. We ended up putting in exactly what the service manual suggested, of 3.8 quarts in this case. Your case may vary. It may be 3.6, it may be 3.7. It just depends on how much came out when we did the drain. If you got any questions or comments about this maintenance, go ahead and leave them below. I'll try to help you out. Any of the Toyota part numbers, anything like that. If this saved you some money or taught you something about this old car's engine, how to take care of it yourself, go ahead and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Paying it forward helps the video get found on YouTube. And as always, thanks for watching.